Hello, I'm John Nittleson. I'm a professor emeritus at California State University, Monterey Bay, and currently I'm the acting executive director of the California Community College Online Education Initiative. But I'm really here today in my role of being on the nominating committee for Q, and we have a chance to talk with the nominees for the Q board. So let's start first. Lainie, will you tell us who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your first Q experience?
Sure. Well, I'm Lainie Rowell, and I am a professional developer, and I'm also the Leading Edge Certification Program Coordinator. We call it LEC. And let's see, my first Q experience was back in 2001, and I had been hired to open a brand new school as a teacher. And we were very fortunate that we had some good technology. I wouldn't say we had a ton, but we had a good amount of technology. The problem was we didn't have any idea how to use it. And so one day my principal called me into her office and she said, "There's this conference in Palm Springs. I think you should go to it." And that was my first experience going to the Q conference. And I was completely blown away because it was way more than I expected. I think I foolishly expected it to be more about how to push buttons and things like that. And I realized it was really more of a community of people who were very excited about what technology could do to empower our students. So it was a great first experience, and it's kept me coming back ever since.
It's always fun to sort of reminisce about your first Q conference. Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what led you to want to serve on the board of Q?
Sure. Well, as a classroom teacher, I taught kindergarten, first, second, sixth grade. I think I covered them all. And I actually didn't do them in that order. I jumped around a bit. And then I started, again, we had a lot of technology at the last school that I worked at, and I started doing some site level professional development. And then I became an ed tech coordinator at our district office with 33 schools, 22,000 kids, and about 1,200 teachers. So that was a lot of fun for me. And that's when I really started to expand beyond what was happening in my district. And I also started to get really involved in Q. And I was the Orange County Q board president. And I also served as the Q Communications Committee chair. And I was a QDU lead learner. And a lot of these experiences led me to want to do even more for the organization. And so I am in the third year of my first term on the Q board. And in July, I was elected secretary. So I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to have a second term, and I'd love to be able to continue my service.
Great. Could you tell us what you think are some of the greatest challenges we have in education, and probably more importantly, how can Q and Q leadership help answer some of those challenges?
Sure. Well, I think it's a pretty big challenge to prepare our kids for this very rapidly changing world, kind of a world we don't know what it's going to look like even in a few years. So the challenge to give our kids the skills and the knowledge that they need to be successful.
They're great challenges, but they're also great opportunities. But I want to thank you from both the nominating committee and from the Q membership for stepping up to run for a position of the Q board of directors for board leadership. It's a leadership that helps guide Q, and we're really excited that you've decided to run. And for those of you watching this video, be sure to vote. Thank you.